Am I the asshole for not wanting to sign away my inheritance?
No.
Yeah, I'm going to say no on that one.
A few weeks ago, my 32 female father passed away from cancer. The first time I read that, I was like, damn, that's young. I thought the father was a 32-year-old female. I was confused.
I understand.
No.
I mean, still pretty young.
Yeah. I've been reading these for 2 years and the age thing still confuses me.
I'm right with you.
It was relatively sudden. He was diagnosed in July of 2023 with a good prognosis, but things quickly took a turn for the worse. My relationship with both my parents was and still is complicated, but I was glad that I made it out to see him in March before he passed. Yesterday, my mom, 68 female, asked me to call her because she wanted to discuss my father's estate with me. Now, my father did not leave a will. I'm not sure if it was denial or what, but he made no provisions for how his assets would be divided after his death. My mom started the call by saying it was their understanding that she would receive everything after he passed away, but since there was no will, I was entitled to a portion of the estate under Washington state law.
This is why you always drop a will, just to avoid too many complications.
Especially with like assets like that could divide so much people right away.
Yeah. With family and loved ones, don't even just have it all explicitly detailed.
Yeah. Especially if you have an illness that like you never know, right?
Yeah.
Like just do it as early as you can. Yeah, that's tough.
We should make wills for ourselves. I don't have.
Let's do it live on the podcast.
Yeah, for our $20 tier on Patreon. My mom said 25%, but I do not know if that's accurate. She then asked me to sign away my rights to that percent because she would rather leave everything equally to me and my two half-sisters after her death. I see, I guess...
Like when she dies...
Because they're half-siblings. That's not her. Those are her daughters, but the dad that passed, I'm assuming, is not their dad.
Oh, I understand. Okay. So OP's stepmom doesn't want to give her any money, wants to give it to her own kids. Is that what she's saying?
So she's saying the 25% that she's getting from her dad should be given to her mom. That way her mom can divvy it up 100% of both of theirs.
Equally when she passes.
Okay, and it continues. I don't get it, but...
I see them as full sisters, but I suppose it's important to note that they are not my father's children and he did not raise them. Now, some background. My father was verbally, emotionally, financially, and sometimes physically abusive to my mother and I. Needless to say, she deserves his money. However, as I got older, I began to realize that my mom was not the person I had thought she was while I was growing up. One of those things that I realized is that she is extremely shady, and in some cases, literally criminal when it comes to money. Here are some examples. All of our childhood bank accounts gifted to us by our grandparents mysteriously disappeared, and then she tried gaslighting us into thinking that they never existed. She promised to pay a portion of my oldest sister's college, but flaked and my sister ended up having to take out loans. She has spent the last couple of years frequently asking all of her daughters for money while also talking about her $16,000 sewing machine that she bought.
Damn.
And the new electric bike that my father had bought for her, etc., etc.
$16,000 for a
sewing machines can go up that? Wow, some people might be.
That's what I was thinking.
Really good at sewing. Damn.
The Cadillac.
It seems like an industrial, like I'm making shoes and like 1,000 t-shirts type sewing machine. I don't know what that is. I thought they were like $500.
It's big enough to fit in a warehouse or some shit.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And when divorcing her first husband, she embezzled money from my sister's Girl Scout troop.
Jesus.
Yikes.
Christ.
Basically, I'm not sure what I can trust when it comes to money with her. I feel like she's trying to manipulate me. She spends like crazy and went through her large inheritance from her father in just a few years. I spoke with my sisters yesterday after the call, and they pointed out that there will be nothing for her to leave us after she dies, so I should not sign away my portion of the estate now.
Yep.
My husband, 32-year-old male, also agrees with my sisters that I should not sign. We are younger millennials, and the amount of money I would receive from the estate could be a down payment for a house for us, which is something we did not think would be possible for many more years. I am very disappointed and angry that my mom has put me in a position of volunteering to give up my inheritance. She has framed it as it would be disrespectful to my father's memory by taking the money I am entitled to by law and also taking money away from her. I want my mom to be financially secure for the rest of her life, but she already will have the sale of 2 houses, which will probably be close to $1 million combined.
Jesus.
The boat, the vehicles, my father's bank accounts, etc. So she shouldn't really need 1/4 of his life insurance. But I am worried I am being entitled, and I don't want to place more of a strain on our relationship. Would love to get some input from the internet. What advice do you have?
I don't think you're being entitled when you are entitled to that.
It. Yeah.
To it.
When you're legally
entitled to it. And I can see where you're coming from too. Like, I don't know, like what your cultural background is. Like, I know for me, like how we're raised is kind of like, family's kind of everything. So of course you'd want to divvy it up and kind of want to make sure it's fair for everyone. However, your mother seems like they have a history of not being smart when it comes to financials.
Yeah.
So I would be wary trusting her of my portion to have a hope that she'll fairly divvy it up like when it's her time to go. I feel like I think one of the sisters already kind of advised that like she might end up spending that. You guys will end up with nothing down the line. I'd remove all the guilt that you have in your heart right now about her not getting her portions. She already has more than enough. You need to claim what's rightfully yours.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I wouldn't trust her. The stuff that like OP has laid out that she's done in the past, it's like, well, I'm entitled to the money now. Why would I give it to you just to hopefully get it back years down the line? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me at all. That's why I was so confused. Because it's like, well, I could have the money now. It could set me up for like my future. You know what I mean? Like, I can get a house with this. Which, by the way, is so sad that we have to wait for family members to die before we can buy houses. That's crazy. But like, what a crazy concept to be like, no, give it to me. Trust me. I'll give it back to you when I die. It's like, well, I have no reason to trust you. You've never given me a reason to trust you.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, do it in your father's honor. Oh, you mean my father who was abusive as fuck? Like, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
So
it sounds like she's running a Ponzi scheme. You know what I mean? Like,
honestly,
at this point, using her family and like late father's weaponizing his death to be like, hey, invest in me so then I can, grow it and pretty much give it to you later, more down the line. I wouldn't trust her, especially with her past behavior in the past.
Yeah. And I will say, like, she was a victim in her own right to your father. But that doesn't have anything to do with you getting
all the other things.
Yeah,
that she did.
Because you're also a victim in that scenario. So it's like she's gonna get, like you said, millions, like $1 million plus.
Wild.
So I think she'll be fine. I think 200.
Whenever you said Ponzi scheme, The Office. Yeah. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's not a pyramid scheme. Like,
oh.
He immediately draws out a pyramid.
I need to make a call.
It's not even a scheme per se. It's
oh my god. Once someone's inheriting a boat, that should tell all the story.
You're fine.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
I've never once owned a boat.
Man. And like for me, like if I was feeling any sort of guilt, as soon as my siblings were like, no, dude, take the money. What are you talking about? I would have been like, you're fucking right. You're absolutely right. So yeah, I think OP, you are, you should have no guilt in taking what's rightfully yours. There is an update from OP. They write, this is my first actual post on Reddit, so I don't know if I'm doing this right, so apologies. Thank you everyone for your thoughts so far. I really appreciate it. The overwhelming consensus is to get a lawyer. And after talking it over with my husband and some friends, I agree. I have found some Washington-based estate/probate lawyers with good reviews online, and I've put in some requests for consultations. I'll see if any of them feel like a good fit. But I am really sad that I am at the point where I even need to bring in a lawyer. But everyone is right that some expert help is needed in this situation. I'd been planning on taking an extended trip back home in the summer to visit my mom and other family, but I don't know now. Anyways, we'll update if anything comes up.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We didn't even touch on that.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, we didn't bring up
the brightest at all.
We're just like, keep your money. Don't talk to them.
Yeah, don't talk to them. Go on Reddit. Let us know and post it so then we can talk about it. Also, that's our best advice.
We just said, let's see your house. Show us pics of the house.
Yeah, let us know.
Get therapy.